Dylan, welcome to the Wrestle Review Patreon chat episode. We used to talk about the worst people in the world, so I've decided we're going to talk about everyone's still favorite wrestler, Orange Cassidy, the modern Sandman.
The modern
He's
Sandman
the
is
modern
very
Sandman.
interesting.
He's the modern Sandman.
Why is that?
It is all character, but still you actually want to watch the match. And the difference is that Sandman did not have to have any moves. His move was he's had 8 beers and now good luck. Um, and Orange Cassidy's move is like every time after all of his matches, this is what everyone's reaction is like. Hey, you know that guy that's fun because we like his entrance? Yeah. You know how usually those guys can't wrestle? We're like, yeah. It's like, this guy can. It's like, oh, that's fun. Like that's what it is. Like every Orange Cassidy is just like, you know that thing we like? Yeah, it's like this is just a fun version of that.
Yeah, it's the only thing holding him back. It feels like is there's just like a weird sort of disconnect between his gimmick and the way he wrestles.
Yeah, what it is, and I think they got very close with the build to Kenny Omega, is he needs to be, yeah, okay, just go out of focus. They don't want me to say this, Dylan. It's they need to like have him just be a bit more of a person, like him be an aloof, weird dick, but he needs to like speak and he needs to like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just need to, if they just make him a touch more of a person, then it makes sense he wrestles like that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes he will try.
See, that's the thing though. That's the weird thing where it's like everyone fell in love with the one note um it's like the Simpsons episode where the dude is it the gang fight happens and there's the one dude
Oh,
who's
exactly.
just
Of
standing
course.
there.
What's this guy exactly going to do? I know it's
Yeah,
going
he's
to be
like a
something
weird
great.
cartoon character, but then you're trying to add depth because the cartoon character. It's kind of like they have this weird second chance to book a character like Damien Mizdow or like um everyone will forget this, but like the Miz has done this to a couple people, but like when Alex Riley was super over for a hot second because everyone just wanted him to turn on the Miz and realize and come to his goddamn senses.
I mean, this is the
Um,
thing. The Miz is amazing. The Miz is
the Miz
nobody
is
is
fucking great.
nobody is better at building the Miz into like do something. And like Damien Mizdow, like I still don't know where that guy is. I'm like, just come back and do that. But when he was bumping outside of the ring because the Miz was losing, it was that gimmick ruled.
But like they found a way to make a gimmick like that because that's what Orange Cassidy was. He was a completely still, I don't give a shit guy, just who was their valet who never did anything, but they were totally fine with it. And now he's like pretty much booked like New Jack.
Yeah, like he was the best friends. Yeah, he was the best friends just valet. But he was
Yeah.
a wrestler in where did he
Oh no,
come
he's a
from?
very good wrestler. He's just like that was the gimmick that helped him take off.
Yeah, is that he was with the best friends, but he never helped them because he just wouldn't do anything. That was basically it. And now,
He was just too laid back to fight anybody.
yeah, and it would be that thing of he would always have his hands in his pockets and he would be doing like kip ups and that's very exciting. And then he'd fall down and like, but then he'd win a match. Yeah, and then they just slowly built it, and now he punches people.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing where it's like there's the disconnect between
I
that
actually
you have
disagree
to
with you.
keep that part of the character, which is interesting because I think that Orange Cassidy he got that gimmick, so he got people to look at him because it's so different than everything else on wrestling. But there's a way there, but he's actually such a good wrestler behind it that everyone's like, okay, well, this guy's great. So it's interesting. Like,
That's why I actually don't think it's a disconnect. So, because here's the thing: is that what he's been really able to do is, he's going to do the like, he's going to roll in the ring. He's not going to touch anyone, and it's kind of that thing of he only ever does the really crazy good matches stuff on pay-per-view, and it's that kind of thing of they've slowly subliminally told everyone where it's like, you want to see Orange Cassidy fight? See you on pay-per-view. You want to see Orange Cassidy be fun and remind you why you like Orange Cassidy? See you on television. So it's sort of that disconnect of when it really matters, he'll try, but he's not trying all the time, which kind of provides some of a connection. I know what you're saying, but it's one of those things where with Sandman, it's also the same thing of like, well, why doesn't his opponent get out of the ring and just fucking clock him with a chair while he's drinking 8 beers? And you're like, you know what I mean? I see
because
what you're
Sandman already
saying.
has the weapon on him. Like, there's no disconnect with the Sandman character. The Sandman character is quite literally.
There's a vast disconnect with the Sandman character. There is
Okay.
no way he's going to be able to do any sort of running. once he gets in the ring. Oh, like
just a hammered guy who you can't knock out. That's his whole character. His character is I am an Estonian man. That's his whole character. Versus Orange Cassidy, where it's like you almost want Orange Cassidy to like completely eschew the stuff that is his best spots, where it's like don't do the fake kicks anymore. Just go in the ring. Your entrance is exactly the same, but then once the shades come off and the fucking jacket comes off, now you're fucking in it and you want to kill somebody.
I think that's a great way to do it.
Kind of like a reverse. It's like Festus, but like not
reverse
under a
Festus.
spell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Festus without all of the mean things said about people with any sort of mental disorder.
And that guy.
So what you're saying is it's Festus without making fun of disabled people, which, and I think that I speak for both of us.
Isn't Festus?
Is not Festus. I would. You remain true to that. The best character of the 2000s. Name a better character than Festus. I'll wait. Dylan, go ahead. Try.
Ooh.
You hear the silence? I hear the no, not still very good, but not as good as
because Eugene. The original thing was they were going to do the what's it called? They were going to do the South Park plot and the plot of that Johnny Knoxville movie where he's just pretending to be mentally handicapped. I have to put something up for my wife's vintage business right now. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
I mean, this is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing that I will say again about Orange Cassidy, which is why Dylan's incorrect. Or no, is correct, is what they need to do to get to where Dylan is talking about is they just need to turn Orange Cassidy heel for a bit. Not the whole time. Like, we're talking 6 months. Like a little bit like, when Bryan Danielson was Daniel Bryan. Does anyone remember that? Does anyone remember when Bryan Danielson was Daniel Bryan? I don't think anyone remembers John, you fuck. Anyway, they had that unnecessary sort of like, oh, he's with the Wyatt family for a second. I don't know why they did that in this case, but that's kind of the length of a heel turn you need from Orange Cassidy just to then bring him like back. Like, I've been duped. I thought these were the good guys. Something like that where there's something for his personality to react to evolve, and then he's great, is what I think Dylan's looking for. Now, what's the problem with what I just did? Is Dylan has left the studio / his garage where he works out. And I am sat just making a great point that he's now missed. So what you guys have all just heard, I have to repeat, turd. I will also say this about the AEW from when it started to now. It's so different, but I still hold on to all of my prejudices from the very early days. Like, I'm still just kind of like, the former Ty Dillinger has really turned my head, I gotta say, but I don't give a fuck about the best friends. I want to try. I want to like them. I don't care. And like, I like the gimmick. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be 11. They're coming to your house. I just go fuck yourselves. You know what I mean? I just now freaked out and was like, wait a minute, who actually is in the best friends versus all right, yeah, that is it's the best friends. Okay, that's who that. I find the best friends I just don't get them. They look like, what they look like? They both look like reckless youth, if just with different haircuts. It's just they are, and I'm aware that AEW is no longer this, but there is some of the shades of that Joey Janela era, which we were all supposed to enjoy. We all wanted to. I wanted to take E and get smashed in the face with barbed wire, but it didn't happen. Now Joey Janela is, I assume, hours away from starting a podcast that would be akin to the time that Jamie Dundee appeared on kayfabe commentaries. Dylan Gott, by the way, really not being quick. He's back. Dylan's back. Let me repeat the point I just made earlier. Put those cans on. Dylan, here's my point. Orange Cassidy, to get to where you want, they've already heard this because I realized I laid out my point while you were gone, and so I have to tell you is they need to turn him a heel and then bring him back, and then that's how they can do exactly what you want.
No, you just gotta just change it so.
And how do you change it? How do you change it?
He
dumb.
Is who he is.
Go
He's
ahead.
Like a weird character that gets lame, but then is like no one was excited. Not no one was excited, but people. There was mixed feelings about the Will Ospreay Orange Cassidy match because you get Will Ospreay, who's like, one of the best wrestlers in the world.
On. There were mixed feelings going in.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
All right. I was
excited. But the thing is, like, in wrestling, in real sports, if something looks like it's shit and it delivers, it's an instant classic. But in wrestling, if something looks like shit and no one really cares and then it delivers, they'll be like, oh, cool, next time. But then it's like, it's kind of like you should have promoted it better because you had every goddamn opportunity to promote this thing.
As it turns out, I don't think that Orange Cassidy was ready to perform, and I also don't think that Orange Cassidy was necessarily the first choice to fill that spot. Like, it really felt like in the ramp up and build to Forbidden Door, they were continually like, we need to get this guy. We need, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's also
People got injured as well, right?
People got injured. I think also some of the angles didn't take off in the way that they wanted. Stuff like that. Like, yeah, they really had to scramble after CM Punk's injury and Brian
Daniels fucked a lot of
Daniels,
shit up because it was
Danielson's injury. Well, that's the thing is those are two seismic shifts. Like, it's very clear that Claudio was going to debut at this pay-per-view either way. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were, the Moxley thing, he gets put into the main event, and then they got to shift that story and how that story is told between him and Jericho. Danielson was for sure just going to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. and, like, Danielson has a concussion, I believe, which is not good.
It's one of those things where it's like Vince McMahon may have been doing a lot. He may have been visiting the legal department of the WWE for very duplicitous reasons, but while there, he learned a lot about letting performers continue to wrestle while they're developing what's known in the biz as that CTE look. And it really feels like Bryan Danielson is going to be treating us with another regretful retirement promo soon. And again, I love the American Dragon. I'm so happy he's in AEW. I loved his debut. I love what they've done with him. I like the Blackpool Combat Club. It's like Fight Club, but if your weird British friend was in charge of it and you just go, blah, blah, and guts. But at the same time, please, Daniel, stop wrestling. I know his name is Brian, but the marketing got me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what, like, he's entered. Sure. And also because I like Kurt Angle has a look in his eyes where it's like, Kurt, you just
he looks like Shoe Nice.
What does that even mean? What's Shoe Nice?
Shoe Nice is a guy at the beginning of YouTube who just like drank anything.
Oh my God, I remember Shoe
Nice and Kurt Angle split screen those. Kurt Angle now and Shoe Nice. It's far too similar for comfort. But anyway, here's another thing I want to talk about the Orange Cassidy match. In keeping with the tradition of the wrestler review, I think it's an interesting look into how everyone's talking about that match and no one's talking about the fact that Will Ospreay.
Oh, I knew it. Good for you, Dylan.
No, Will, because he covered it. He was like, he didn't do anything. There's no allegations against him, but he certainly.
What was it again? He was just like,
she was accusing his friend of something, and he was like, "Don't hire this woman." Like, that's what she accused.
Will Ospreay of doing.
She accused Will Ospreay of basically, of just turning every promoter against her. Now that could be like,
because then and then it got explained away because he was like gone for a second, then came back because the company tweeted like no, we didn't.
No, he wasn't gone for one moment. New Japan doesn't give a fuck. Like people like New Japan for the wrestling, but they don't give a fuck about.
Oh, because as I understood it. Look at me, Dylan. As I understood it, like the company they were talking about, I think it was Rev Pro. I don't know. Tweeted.
Rev Pro may have just been like, "Yo, we're not going to use them for a hot minute, but that's just a New Japan tour anyway."
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a shame that Will Ospreay will never appear in this ring again until you guys may have forgotten, and then he'll be fucking back in a second because we are indie wrestling in Britain. There's like one guy that's good, and it's him.
That's like the Conor McGregor bus thing. This is ridiculous. We are going to suspend Conor McGregor for 6 months, which coincidentally is his medical suspension anyway. But that's the 6 months, which sounds like any sport. You're like 6 months, but it's like fighters fight once a year when they're rich. So it's like, okay.
Connor, your punishment is you're going to have to wear a suit and say a loudmouth stuff at a press conference that people should be shocked by, even though you've been doing it for about 7 years.
Exactly. You're suspended until you decide you want to start training and fight another guy.
Do you remember when Conor McGregor threw that? That was, by the way, the end. That was truly the end of when the UFC was. There was like no one really talks about it, but like 2013 to 2017, the UFC could do no wrong. Like I am so like not that connected to the UFC. Like, I don't really care, but I popped in. The Ronda Rousey run was so fucking fun.
Ronda
And
Rousey and Conor McGregor for sure, but like the UFC fucking what is it saying? The UFC's bulletproof now because that ESPN deal is crazy. So like,
oh yeah, no, as we covered in the on the main this week, like Dana White, like Dana White is Denzel Washington in Training Day, speaking to Vince McMahon and Tony, like King Kong ain't got nothing on me. That like Dana White
Dana
is
White
the
gets his salary plus 3% of the gross, not the net.
yeah, like fuck
That's
you.
fucking crazy.
Dana White, how did you get in that position? Well, in high school, I was an asshole, and there was one other guy who was an even bigger asshole, and his name was Bill Fertitta, or I don't know what the Fertitta brothers' names.
Lorenzo. Well, just they're mobbed up guys who
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. They seem
they're
like
allegedly
very
mobbed up and like
Dylan. I would like you to name one other businessman in Vegas that has connections to the organized crime.
my
Name
favorite
one.
thing about the UFC was like all we need to do is be licensed in Nevada, but we can't make that happen anyway. We sold it to Fertitas. Oh, the next day, oh shit, we got a license in Nevada.
Yeah,
It's
of
like,
course.
amazing.
I also really like it's like we really need to figure like New York State. There is no way we will ever allow the UFC to happen in New York State. It is human cockfighting. It seems that a super PAC connected to my reelection has just told me that the UFC is fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
but that's what it is, of course. Like,
Well, they do shit that Vince McMahon dreams of, like when COVID was like, you can't have fights because of COVID.
oh my god,
And
I'm
he was
starting
like,
an island.
we're kind of owned by fucking oil money in the Middle East. We're building an arena that's not only made by slaves, it's made of slaves.
Yeah. I want to let everyone know, everyone here who's working has COVID. Masks are illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That was my favorite, like
Dana White-
weird COVID
Dana
thing.
White.
Sorry, go for it.
By the way, Dana White Dana White was the first person I recognized where I was like, this guy does not think COVID is a thing because like
he
it was days into the pandemic, and he was like, more like a plandemic. This vaccine is bullshit. What vaccine, Dana? Whatever vaccine they come out with will be bullshit. I'm making a fight island because that's what I remember was he was trying to make a fighter island for a like.
Yeah, that was the Abu Dhabi thing. He just said Fight Island, which everyone was like, what the fuck? Because he was talking about buying an island and naming it Fight Island. And then it was just like, no, it's like an island off the coast of Abu Dhabi that, once again, your slave to gone is made of, and your slave chairs. My favorite thing in the weird, like...
And the main event of this event will be Brock Lesnar just eating a human being.
he has to fight 3 malnourished slaves. Who will win? Just
Brock has
kidding.
already won.
Brock's killed them all, and we are bathing in their blood.
Yeah, Brock is jacking off in the middle of the ring. He is screaming about now knowing what happiness is and has realized he no longer loves his wife and loves blood. Oh God, he's killed his wife. Brock
He's marrying blood.
Brock is marrying blood and fucking the desecrated corpse of his ex-wife, Rena Marrow. Oh my God, that's Mark Marrow. He's in the stands. Mark Marrow's applauding Brock. This is truly exactly what I, Joe Rogan, expected to see when I came here to Fight Island.
Fight Island. Jesus Christ. But Vince McMahon that's why Vince McMahon's so you can point to shitty things that Vince McMahon does better than Dana White. I think the main one is Dana White was like, it's a pandemic and talking all this wild shit, whereas Vince McMahon just keeps on doing the thing.
Oh
like,
no, Vince McMahon.
hey, are you gonna test your wrestlers? Yes. And then he just doesn't, and they're like, you didn't test your wrestlers. He's like,
I did though. Yeah, I did though.
He just doesn't. He's like Donald Trump without a fucking PR thing. He just does the thing. It's like a bully. It's just like, oh no, it's my house now.
Oh my God! But the Florida thing was the best, which was like, like because when Florida closed everything except for essential, and he was like, "Hello,
we're essential now."
Rick DeSantis, I'm essential. Don't make me talk to my paralegal because I'm not allowed legally to talk to her anymore. Actually,
oh yeah, that's when he was fucking the paralegal.
Oh my God, is that when he was fucking the I couldn't tell from that case how recent the paralegal fucking was.
It makes so much more sense because he can't leave the office anymore because of COVID.
Oh my God, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. He Bill Clinton
NDA that she signed.
Oh, it had. Oh my God, it had so much coleslaw and burrito grease on it. Probably.
No, I just mean like there's no. I mean, let's be real here. There's no way that thing was fucking at all consensual. Like that was.
Oh yeah, there is. Oh my.
No way, man. That was like you're in a room with a guy and you can't leave because of a fucking pandemic. That's
Yeah.
fucking disgusting. Oh
Yeah,
god, I wish I hadn't thought of that.
just Vince McMahon not wearing a shirt but still wearing dress pants unnecessarily hiked up over his belly button.
Just fucking a fucking 70-something. I mean, whatever you're into.
His
you're into,
cum
good Lord.
has to look so weird now. Like there's no way at that long.
It's probably literally his protein powder, which is dope.
Oh yeah. Also, how much do you think Bruce Pritchard has to listen to? I feel like I think Vince really. I think what it is, I think Jim Cornette's right, and that Vince McMahon is he has like
Just nuts now.
he's just crazy. Like I don't think it's dementia. I just think he's just lost his. Because here's the thing: is in the end, Vince McMahon basically built his own world and has lived there so long, and like let's not forget, Vince McMahon said to his wife, like, "I'm gonna get you into politics," and then one of his two friends became the president. Like, you could argue with Vince McMahon over a lot of things, but like in the end, it's like to him, why would he ever say I'm wrong? Because he's always been right.
But as of this, there's been another long, there's been another long article posted, and it's about the Rita Chatterton allegations.
I just saw this as we were about to record.
Yahoo just did it 3 hours ago.
Google
magazine.
Google had it in between when we were just had it about an hour ago. So yeah, no, here's what I truly think this is they're getting him out. Like Vince is just fucking nuts. The pandemic, I think it was exactly what you're talking about, is that Vince was just in the office alone. He's fucking staffers and just wildly firing people. And they're like, all right, Vince, time for you to go. And because I guarantee that they probably would have kept him somewhat in place, except for the fact that he's now insisting on going on television at every fucking opportunity. Like,
I think that the everyone who is in the know about wrestling, who are all guys like us, who
hot guys,
no one would trust
hot
with money,
cool guys,
who don't
hot
invest,
cool guys. Oh no, we
except
impressed
for me. But like people
Did
who
Dylan,
you know,
Dylan acknowledge my joke. Did you hear my joke?
except for what?
I don't invest. I breast.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You'd like it.
But like, it's a low class art form, wrestling is, and it's like they don't trust the opinions of people like us. But like Vince McMahon's nuts. But all the Wall Street people are like, no, he built the thing, so it's
No. Because here's what it is Vince what's interesting about wrestling is the people at the very top of wrestling do not like the fans. They're like, these fucking dorks.
Mm-hmm.
Stop liking Frank Gotch, you hardcore stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They hate the fans, but in the end, it's like, no, the business world should look at the actual wrestling audience and be like, who should we invest in? And everyone would be like, I don't know, but definitely not Vince McMahon. It's like, why is that? Well, it's like, he doesn't believe you should be able to sneeze. Do you want to have your money wrapped up in that fucking guy? Do you understand that Vladimir Putin looks at him and is like, that guy is willing to go down with the ship? You know what I mean? Like,
well, this is the interesting thing, though. I want an honest answer here, John. If you found out tomorrow that Vince McMahon was out of power and no one connected to his name was in charge of WWE, you'd watch for a bit, but wouldn't it, like,
I would say
something from you?
It would. What I would say is say hello to your new owner of the WWE, Mr. Tony Khan. You know, like that's what I would predict.
Half his dad's money.
I mean, his dad would 100% let that happen. His dad would be like, yeah, fine.
For Billy, let's go.
Yeah,
trade the Jaguars for WWE straight up.
Oh my God, yeah, trade the Vince McMahon would take that trade. Fine, let me do it.
I'm on the team now.
I'm the quarterback.
Who's my favorite? Remember that, the XFL thing? Who's my favorite? Who's your favorite football player? Jeff J. Strongbow and Wahoo McDaniel.
Oh my God, so embarrassing. I still want to know, and no one's been able to answer this question, why the XFL in the first place? Like, no one's been able. Like, why did he think I'll just start a football league? Like, no one has been able. Unless it was Dick Ebersol was just like, just start a football league, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, no one's explained.
Pretty much, probably. It's probably honestly the exact same type of conversation that led to the formation of AEW, which was, hey, you don't. Oh man, I wish we had football. You can have football. I'll make football. Oh really? You're working on a league? Yes.
Yeah,
Vince
that's
McMahon
probably
thing,
that's
just start
exactly what it
doing
is.
Fuck
Yeah,
it, let's
it's
do it.
oh, that's very stupid, and I hate that. And you're exactly right.
So many people are so like everyone listening to this, and myself too. I
It's
mean,
hot. They're
this is a
hot.
dumb idea
Everyone who
that we
listens
just
to this is a
started
fucking.
doing.
Go ahead. Oh, this? Oh, this is
That's
incredibly.
why our iTunes logo is still something that a man with cerebral palsy drew, and then I was like, "Hey, man, can you get us another logo?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm working on it." And I was like, we're just gonna start doing this because I know if I wait for this logo,
We are still waiting for that logo, by the way.
and he still sometimes will be like, "Man, I wish you guys would have just waited for me to complete the logo." And it's like, I'm not going to. You just
No.
start doing the thing.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
why.
mean? Like,
Also,
just
can I just say
that's
this
what
about
Coppola
the?
did. Mark Coppola just started making The Godfather, didn't he, or something like that?
I think it was Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now, but like one of the movies where it's like we're out of money.
I
They're just like,
completely
stop
agree.
making that movie. We're out of money. And he's like, oh, sorry, shooting. And they're like, what? Oh, sorry, we're breaking up because I'm shooting still. Like it's like
Yeah, but here's the thing that no one talks about is I've been in show business long enough that I have been like the stories of those successes are amazing, but what no one talks about is the many unsuccessful like times where people bet it all and holy Jesus Christ.
as we learned in the year of McMahon, Vince McMahon is very much like 1-for-4.
Yeah,
Like, he
oh,
lost all his money.
like a bunch
lot,
of times.
And Ronald Reagan made sure that he could just, you can just keep getting loans if you've already had money. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Are
If
you
you've had
wait a minute.
$10
Hang on,
once,
hang
you
on.
have $10 forever now. Enjoy.
Hang on. Let me just ask you a question though. Are you a straight white guy from
Yeah,
the East
exactly.
Coast? And he's like, I actually am. And they're like, oh yeah, great. Yeah, you know, what would you like? And he's like,
First of all, that's a quaff, and second of all, those are dope shoulders. You get anything you want.
yeah. Wait a minute. That's you are already on TV. Well, then you are a god because it is the '80s. Someone suck this man's dick.
Which is still how it works, but it's like
Yeah,
you
it's
just
very
start
funny.
doing it. You just start doing the thing. I forget what we were talking about in the first place, but
Well, we're talking about
the XFL.
the XFL. Yeah,
that's what he did. Which is like we could all learn from Vince McMahon, good and bad, and that's.
but it's
definitely
again,
something-
and this is
if
actually
it's low
something.
risk out there, and anyone here has an idea for something, just start doing it. And if
Yes,
it
but
doesn't
the
hurt
one-
anybody,
hang
I
on.
want to add
No,
that in.
But the one thing is that so, yeah, make sure it doesn't hurt anyone. And also the other thing is sometimes these things don't work out. I know no one talks about this where everyone's like, make your own special, put it out there. I know a bunch of people that have like put stuff out there, make it their own, and it failed so badly. And no one like it's one of those things where it's like know the risks a bit more. Like Vince McMahon could make these risks because in the end his dad literally owned by virtue of the fact a wrestling company in New York. So like Vince could really fuck shit up and in the end they would still be able to make some money because they have a natural relationship with if you know anything you might be able to guess where they're wrestling that like soon, which is Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're in the biggest media market, so they are very, very distinct advantage.
And I think that's also kind of polluted Vince McMahon's mind when it comes to where he's just like, well, I can do it. I'm a genius. No one had anything to do with my success. And then there's like 80 people that are like, what about all of us? And he was like, no, I was the main event of WrestleMania. It was me versus me. I was in the corner and I was also Liberace and I'm the Rockettes. Someone kick me. Yeah. Like,
yeah. And like honestly, the WBF wasn't a bad idea and probably could have gotten off the ground.
correct. You shouldn't do it while you're literally being invested for being a steroid dealer. You should not. And I know sounds crazy, but I'm going to say it. Dylan, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't start a bodybuilding federation.
Well, this is the other thing is that, and I only because I started getting my YouTube algorithm is now since I watch weird short documentaries on companies. And so,
I do the same thing. Can we just talk about how weirdly independent of each other our YouTube and podcast like diet is just
we're middle-aged men, so they just go like, you like Joe Rogan, don't you? And you're like, actually, I'd really like to make this salad. You know, like made a salad out of elk meat that he made himself, and it's actually people meat. Joe Rogan. Here's Joe Rogan again.
You know, but what I like is I would like, hey, you know that thing? Yeah, well, here's an 8-part series about all of the things that happened told to you by a crisp-voiced woman. Will there be an episode I won't listen to where she talks to the researcher because I just want to pretend like this is just she just knew this and I've met her? Yeah, great. Like,
well, this is what I'm saying is that like there's all the documentaries about like fitness culture and how it's fucking up. Now, obviously, because everyone just fucking does
Uh,
juice and says I'm not on juice. Continue.
Of
Sorry.
course, but you're talking about everyone but the Liver King. Like the Liver King is legit, though, right?
Liver King is of
Of
course
course.
100% natty.
Yeah, he is.
And
Like
in
he's
no
natty
way from a
ice.
weird like. He's probably from like I would be shocked if the Liver King wasn't like his dad, his like great ex, however many times grandfather just owned like the most slaves of anyone. Like George Washington
Oh,
was like, wow, this guy's
yeah,
got a lot of slaves.
yeah. I guarantee there is someone in the Liver King's family that owned a lot of slaves, and that person is the Liver King's father. Like you're just like, who's the Liver King's dad? And you're like,
I want to know so much about the Liver King.
it's all I think about all the time is I want to know. Also, here's my question: is I just want to know. I just want to know this. When does he wear a shirt?
Why would you ever wear a shirt if you're like that, bro?
It could get cold.
I mean, not because he's so rich. He just only spends time on his weird ranch.
It's so weird. I mean, what I do enjoy about the Liver King more than anything is if you put in Liver King Joe Rogan, the amount of different times Joe Rogan goes out of his way to talk about how the Liver King is not natty really makes me happy because it really feels like one guy being like, get out of my fucking area, Liver King. Liver King, this is my fucking yard. You know what I mean? I'm telling
that's
these
the
bros,
one dude. That's the one dude who like
keeps it natty.
but like Joe Rogan like literally talks about how he does juice and how it's dope, but like
Yeah.
he's the one dude who like the Liver King wants on his side more than anyone. But what I was gonna say is the reason the WWF failed, and it's such a Vince McMahon reason why it failed, is because the way that you make a fitness thing work is that you convince people like you and me that yeah, whatever, we
That's
both
very
know
funny.
that this guy is on steroids, but like his workout plan is okay. But Vince McMahon was like, no, don't participate. You guys are shit.
Yeah,
Check out how
that's such
fucking dope this guy is. Fuck you. Like, it was like so. It wasn't like you could also. Like, that's the way you make a
That's
fitness
so
thing.
funny.
You lie to people and tell them it's achievable. But Vince McMahon was like, this isn't achievable. I'm a fucking alpha. Fuck you.
Yes, basically Vince McMahon's business strategy with the WBF was the exact like it's very hard to do this and none of you are capable. Watch your betters be better than you, scum. That's you.
Like, there's a guy, I forget his name. His fucking handle's like Jumafu or something like that. He's like the Liver King. He's super fucking juiced out of his
Alpha.
mind, and he's does videos all the time with Rick Boogs, who's formerly of like Nakamura, being with Nakamura in WWE. But he now this Jumafu guy is doing just old shit that they did on the WBF, which is fucking cool. Like, they had squat battles and shit, but it's like a squat battle isn't like, it's not like the world's strongest man where it's like carry this boulder, like holy fucking carry a boulder. It's literally just something only Vince McMahon would like. I'm trying to think of it like Adam Sandler's new basketball movie. That's what the WBF was to Vince McMahon. It was like,
Oh my god, that's
except
such
Vince
a
McMahon was
fun
like
point, yeah.
genuinely, I think this is good.
Was as I
people will
like
like
I as I keep thinking about the television show Winning Time, it's like this is how I think they pitch Winning Time. Hey, you know those people we know because we're very rich celebrities who live in Los Angeles?
Oh, the Lakers one, yeah.
Yeah, like what if we made a show that only those people would like? And be like, yeah, because in the end, like Jerry Buss is just an LA socialite, and like, yeah, I like Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar too. Like, if I had to pick a sport that I'm at all interested in, it is definitely basketball. Basketball is the best one, and even I find that show just like, guys, you have to have some conflict or something because it's just like John C. Riley in an open shirt being like, "This is cool, right?"
Yeah, it's just reliving what happened, but
And also, they don't even go like they'd be like, "Oh, I hope they're going to cover like all the times with Magic and everything." You're like, "Nope." The
yeah, I mean, I
early
don't know.
time.
I watched like 5 seconds, but I had read all the books on it, so I was like, oh, they got that wrong, and then I just turned it off. I can't. That's something I can't do is like if I'm truly
Please tell me
piece
the
of shit
books
with
you.
sports.
Please tell me the books you read about that time. I will read those books because I do not care about sports, but I
Oh,
love
they're
the.
all audiobooks, which makes it
Of
even
course,
easier.
yes. Send them to me. Like I read a book when I had COVID, just about Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. It is one of the funnest books I've ever read in my entire life. Mostly because it talks about how many players just made fun of Tom Brady's diet behind his back all the time, and how crazy Tom Brady is. Because Tom Brady is Tom Brady likes his wife. He's okay with his kids. He loves being a man playing football at his age, and he is committed to being that quarterback at 45. So he's beaten Joe Montana and becomes a champion to the point that he's not eating nightshades. He drinks half his body weight in water. He is insane. Like one of his wife's
Like
major
William Shatner, he's never gonna die.
like one of his wife's major complaints is you just aren't home when there's football, because all he does is goes to he just sits at like the practice facility and works out and eats weird food and then comes home and sleeps. Like it's like he doesn't exist anywhere else but that, because he must
That's
win.
an interesting thing because it's like a guy like Vince McMahon is connected to the thing he does and can do it forever, but Tom Brady's a guy who like loves that thing, and then once it's over, what the fuck do you do, right?
Yeah, once it's over, it's countdown to him being a pitchman and then murdering Giselle. Like, let's be honest, Tom Brady is OJ 2.0. He has the same look in his eyes. Someone get
quarter. I don't know, man. That's such an interesting thing because this is the other thing about Vince McMahon that says a lot about him. People forget like he's a no touch or whatever because of how old he is, but he still was like fully did an angle with Kevin Owens where Kevin Owens just fucking straight headbutted him for Aurelio.
Yeah, like he said no touch except for if Steve Austin's back at WrestleMania, and then Vince McMahon will take a stunner so awkward people are
He's
like,
gonna take that shit till he's like 800, dude.
he's gonna take that shit 2 years
his
after he's
dying
dead.
day.
I guarantee his funeral
Use my corpse to pin it.
Yeah, whatever you do, make sure my corpse is put into a glass box and placed above the ring at all major events from now on.
But that's interesting, man. Like the marvelization of WWE, and what if it becomes like corporate, like Turner? Will it be as bad as Turner, or
No.
will they just be like?
Because here's what it is it's not. Companies now have learned, which is okay. These things this is a piggy bank. It will fill up with money if we do 10 things. The first thing we do is go get 4 guys that know about this shit and have them be in charge, and then go find 4 other guys and groom them to be in charge once those first 4 guys burn out, because they're going to burn out.
Yeah, everyone's just like fuel.
Yeah, everyone's just fuel for a
and then you
fire.
throw them in the garbage.
Exactly. So what is going to happen is, I think, is Stephanie is going to take over. The company will be sold to a Disney or to NBC. They will run it as a perfunctory CEO and be involved, because that will keep Wall Street happy. That's my hot take. Dylan?
Yeah, same thing they do with the UFC, where it's like Dana White functionally runs it. But that's the thing. Vince McMahon's the dude who runs it. I don't know, man.
For now.
It's a very interesting thing. And then
Luckily,
talks
Dana
about Roe
White
versus
kills all. Yeah. Then Linda White is not, or Linda McMahon
is pumped about Roe versus
Oh
Wade.
my God, Linda McMahon is not allowed near a microphone because she hasn't stopped laughing since that news came out. And Stephanie's like, "Mom, why are you laughing?" And she went, "Well, I'm a contrarian, you see. So abortion was legal, so I didn't abort you or Shane, even though I wanted to, because people think your father is the evil one. It's me, Stephanie. It's me."
I would love to like know what's going on with Linda McMahon, where it's just like
nothing. The same thing that's been going on
Clearly
her
they aren't-
entire relationship, which is she's just a nice woman from the South who married a monster, and she's just like, well, I could leave.
She's not a nice woman.
No, that's true. She's a human being. She's an opportunistic human being who is looking out for hers, and this man protected hers.
I'm trying to think of a moment in a television show where it's like, maybe it's like in Goodfellas where she puts the fucking gun behind the toilet or something, but it's like there had to have been a moment where Linda McMahon became implicit in what Vince McMahon was doing. Like that Netflix moment.
What scene in Goodfellas is there a gun behind the toilet? Are you talking
Not
about
the gun behind the toilet? No, because Ray Liotta pistol whips that dude who,
when she hides the gun,
and then she hides the gun. There has to be that moment where Linda McMahon metaphorically hides the gun, and it's like, oh, she's fucking in it now.
I'll
She's
tell
a
you when it
piece
was.
of-
It was when the Ring Boy scandal was happening, and she kept having lunch with the victims. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
all those
Yeah,
many
that's.
all
Oof.
those many times where it's like, well,
And
that
she's
person,
sitting next to them in the fucking Donahue audience too.
like it's so fucked up.
Fucking, that's fucking so.
But here's the interesting thing, which
So
is if they're now
crazy.
going back, what's interesting is we've speculated about something like this happening in wrestling, and I for one always thought it would be Lawler. I always thought just someone in Memphis would finally come forward, and it would be like a Jimmy Savile sort of thing where they were
Oh,
like,
and
Jesus
you've
Christ.
employed this guy for this long. And...
That's what I thought it was going to be. Like, how did you
But
not?
Lawler, it's not the Jimmy Savile thing because Jimmy Savile, you remember, was like, no one ever directly accused him and then he got away with it. Lawler got directly accused of this and then got away with it. So he can always say
Yeah.
precedent. I don't know if you would say, I mean, the Snuka thing almost came out, but then Jimmy Snuka was too fucking. It's a lot of like Vince McMahon has really had luck on his side, proving there is no God. Because if fucking
Or
Jimmy
God is a
Snuka
real
shit-
piece of shit. Or God is like, let me tell you who I like. That Vince McMahon. You want to know what I think is funny? Shitting.
I really think shitting's funny enough that fucking I'll help this guy actively cover up like 9 deaths. But
Yeah.
the fucking what's it called? The Jimmy Snuka thing where that gets relitigated. If that's 5 years earlier, then Jimmy Snuka is like well enough to stand trial and basically goes to jail. And then all the other shit. But then Vince McMahon,
And by the
like,
way, newsflash: if Jimmy Snuka is going to jail, Jimmy Snuka is talking. Like there is no way that Jimmy Snuka is loyal. Like I guarantee Vince McMahon saw dollar signs in that, but then was like, if this fucking cokehead gets asked a direct question, old Vinnie Mac is going to be in trouble. And this is the thing of right now of if they're going backwards and talking about the report from the driver whose name I never remember, Dylan.
the driver, Rita Chatterton? No,
Rita-
Chatterton was
yeah.
the referee.
Pardon me, the referee, Rita Chatterton. If they're going back that far, all of this is now coming out. To which I'm saying is that
It needs to be so here's the thing about Weinstein though, because this is the only thing you can
it was
compare
multiple
to.
women constantly bringing up, and the stories were so salacious. Like you knew Harvey Weinstein was in
And
trouble.
they were
when
all famous, or a lot.
they
of
were
them
all famous. And then like you also had all of like I remember it's such a weird moment, which is Gwyneth Paltrow was asked on Howard Stern. So why didn't essentially she was asked, so why didn't Harvey rape you, Gwyneth? And then she was like, well, because Brad Pitt was my boyfriend at the time. And he fucking threatened Harvey Weinstein with like, I'll not be in any of your movies, you fuck. Stay away from my girlfriend. Which you're like, what's also, by the way, now I'm thinking about is like, why was Howard Stern like, well, you were a real babe in the 90s? What do you feel like bridesmaid, never a bride there, Gwyneth? Like it's just, ugh,
But
life
this
is
the
hell.
other thing about Vince McMahon is that's a big story because Harvey Weinstein did, and this is all horrible things I'm about to say, but like the reason that was a big story is because fucking Harvey Weinstein was trying to fucking get Rose McGowan from Jawbreaker to fuck him and pressuring her. Vince McMahon, there's no allegations of like Vince McMahon pressuring Trish Stratus into fucking him.
Yeah, there's just video footage of her doing that.
But like, you know what I'm saying though, like there's no like there's no when you say Vince McMahon did this to this lady, we can't envision what that lady looks like. And that helps the story a lot when you can be like, I know what Harvey Weinstein looks like. I know what Rose McGowan looks like. I know Harvey Weinstein. I know Gwyneth Paltrow. I can envision this whole thing happening. It makes you like more immersed in it versus Vince McMahon. It's always like one person who, obviously not that we should know their name, and not that this isn't a reason to like fucking, take the man down. Because I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is unfortunately why I think this dude gets off. And also the fucking news cycle's so short. Like everyone in the wrestling media or whatever is saying, oh, Vince is going to get off because of the way the fucking mainstream media is treating this. And meanwhile, we open with this shit talking about how sick Orange Cassidy is.
Yeah, well, Orange Cassidy is sick. And you know who else is sick, Dylan?
Powerhouse
Vince McMahon. Yeah, well, of course, Powerhouse Hobbs. Yes, no, but we're not at the end of the show because the new wrestler review ending is we just talk about Powerhouse Hobbs for the last 10 minutes of all programs.
All programs, even if I myself die.
Dylan has put in his last will and testament that his eulogy is to be delivered by Powerhouse Hobbs.
Powerhouse
Theme music
Hobbs is
played.
to torture rack me into the sweet ground.
Of course, yes. No, you were to be torture racked, and then it'll look like a go to sleep, but it's actually just a gentle dismount. And as your body is placed in the casket, Powerhouse Hobbs, little kiss on the cheek. Just
No, big kiss.
you want a big kiss,
Fucking kiss, motherfucker.
a big
100%.
smacker on the lips.
Smack her on the lips from my big powerhouse buddy. But yes, what do you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Oh, I just wanted to say I just checked Vince McMahon. I just googled Vince McMahon. The mainstream media is very much talking about this. It's on. It's in the New York Post. It's on the front page of the Daily Beast. The story
Rita
that
Chatterton.
the Rita Chatterton story that was posted when we started recording 3-4 hours ago is literally like 46 minutes ago. The New York Post just put it out. It's in every New York newspaper. It's, oh my God, it's in New York Magazine. Yeah, no, that story is now not going away. Like, I understand it will not have the same oomph of the Harvey Weinstein thing, but it's the oxygen has been breathed back into that fire. Before we move on, I just want to say that the Vince McMahon thing continues to be a developing story. And yes, we as
God
part
forbid
of
someone talks to Martha Hart.
Oh fuck! I didn't even think of that.
You because of the lawsuit. I don't know anything about legalness.
But what you can literally say is we tried to talk to Martha Hart, whose husband died because Vince McMahon was like sailing bracket, and she's not allowed to talk because of an NDA. This guy loves NDAs. You know who else has an NDA? That paralegal he stooped. Well, John Laurinaitis seemed to have been present.
Ew.
It's you. I didn't even think, but there's so many people he's got to be like, oh, I hope they don't talk to them. Imagine if they just talked to Jesse Ventura. Like,
Also, the fucking the lady he like drove after in 2008. Like these.
Holy
stories,
shit! I
you
did.
know,
There's so
man.
many of these stories. Yeah, you drove after. If they just read that Playboy article where he's like, ha, 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 I like cheating on him, cheating on your mom, Shane.
I mean, that's one thing. Like saying, "Oh, I love cheating" is one thing, but it's like, you know what I mean?
But it's one of those things where it establishes a behavior pattern. All this, like, do you know what I mean? It's none of it's good. I understand all on its own. It's never done anything against
The
Vince
worst
McMahon.
this could go, the best this could go is he leaves and he's so fucking pissed that he starts a podcast, and then we
God,
stop this podcast and just listen to that one. We just do like those TikTok reacts where we just split screen us listening to the podcast and go on, whoa, and we don't even pause it.
Do you
We just go,
understand?
shit.
First of
fuck."
all, I 100% know that Conrad Thompson.
Conrad
Thompson.
Vince
It's gonna be
McMahon with. Okay,
Conrad-
so can you explain why that's fine?
he's throwing up because Conrad's so.
deserve it.
Conrad, I can't answer your questions. You're disgusting, Conrad.
Oh
What
yeah,
have
it's
you
just
eaten?
him in the same room as
Throwing up.
Conrad because he wants to pink belly him the whole time. 'Cause he's fat. Pink belly, fat, pig boy, pig boy, pig boy, pig boy.
So,
pig boy.
so
We
Vince.
have another Patreon episode that's Vince McMahon feeding me sausage links and calling me pig boy while I'm naked in this kiddie pool. Pig boy, pig,
Big
eat
boy.
it, eat
Yep.
it, pig boy, fat pig.
Yeah. I've had sex with your wife. I'm the one who invented that.
If you
I
eat enough
invented that.
sausage, you get to suck my cock again, you little piece of shit pig boy.
How
And then
about
we're going to talk about Survivor Series 97 finally. That's not, I didn't say you could talk pig boy.
I would love to hear Vince McMahon's take on the Montreal screw job. Don't know what that is. Oh, you mean the Montreal nothing happened? Like,
It's
what do you
probably
thi-
crazy. It's probably everything is probably crazy. Like everything is like, he's like, and then I knocked Brett out. And then it's like, what?
Yeah.
But there's that tape of you coming out. That was reverse.
I was putting him over. It was
I
kayfabe.
looked
I
like
keep it
Brett.
kayfabe. I keep it
No,
double
we switched
kayfabe.
bodies. Like, have you seen Freaky Friday? That happens.
I Freaky
And
Friday,
that's what I
Brett.
did to Brett.
When we were in Canada, when you're in Canada, everyone switches bodies. It's
Yeah,
called Freaky Friday.
Yeah, Freaky
A
Friday.
Freaky Friday. Yeah, so you got a problem?
You don't know anything.
Yeah, it just I guess I thought I was talking to a learned man of science, but I guess I'm
Hey,
talking to
get
a
back in the
fucking
kiddie pool.
yeah, get back, big boy,
Back in
big
the
boy, big
fucking
boy,
kiddie
big
pool,
boy.
big boy. You little fuck.
Dude, what are you picturing Vince McMahon wearing? I'm picturing him wearing Andre the Giant style.
Wetsuit.
No. I'm picturing
No,
an
wetsuit,
Andre
'cause
the.
sometimes he gets in the pool and just like sometimes he gets in the pool and then Conrad thinks they can play and he slaps him in the fucking face so hard.
No. Also, I I would.
And then
I
he
would
invites
never
people over
stop
and says,
watching the
"Hey, I have my
reality
own
show.
marine land," and it's just Conrad.
It's just
Thompson in a
Conrad.
kiddie
It's just a
pool.
live feed of Conrad Thompson's house, and not even inside, just outside. Look, that's the tank for the whale. The whale
But
lives
this
in
is
the
the
tank.
thing is the worst that this can work out is like Vince McMahon's still richer than all of us, but he doesn't care about money at all. He just wants to like keep working and achieve, I don't know, Thanos like domination of the world. He just wants the world to end, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
He will not rest until global warming has won, and that's when the WWE will stop.
Yeah, because global warming, much like Hulkamania, is running wild.
No, wrestling's good because they get all the rings and you take those from town to town, and then it helps to hurt the earth.
I'll tell you when I stop wrestling. It's when my dad finally says my dick's bigger.
Once again, and we'll wrap up on this one, but Vince McMahon in 1993 came up with a character named Ludwig Borga. The guy had a legitimate tattoo because he's a white supremacist, and instead of using that as his character was, I like to recycle. And that's what made him a bad guy, not the fact that he is a
Well,
white
he's from
supremacist.
Europe. There was two things.
Oh, yeah, he's from Finland. We've run out of European countries, so now we're down to Finland. Also, I guess he likes recycling. What about that tattoo that's the SS? No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Recycling's obnoxious.
Listen, we all like the SS. Everyone knows that. We are an American company. It's very, like, I don't know why you keep bringing this up. Everyone knows that if you own a company in America, you love the Nazis.
SS stands for sweet, sweet. Double
Yeah,
sweet.
exactly. Double sweet. Yeah, much like my very good friend Rulin Jeffs, who tells his friends to keep sweet. Here at the WWF, we're double S. Sweet, sweet.
All right. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening. A bird just flew into John's apartment. Goodbye.
That's right. Goodbye.